Everyone worries from time to time. Too much worry can be bad as it leaves us feeling tense and anxious. Even though we might say to ourselves and to others, "Stop worrying, it's pointless, it won't do any good," there is something about worrying that makes it hard to stop. This is because worry can be helpful. Some people worry frequently, usually about specific areas of their lives such as health, a key relationship, children, money, job security, or other things. Others worry constantly. If they have nothing specific to worry about, they will think something up. Even worse, they might unconsciously create a difficult problem or situation just to have something real to worry about. No matter what you read or whom you listen to, your ability to eliminate worry may not have increased as a consequence. Even though we might say to ourselves and to others, "Stop worrying," it is still very difficult to switch these thoughts off. A few key points about worry. Worry is useful. It makes you pay attention. Worrying about the weather cannot stop it raining on your washing. However, if you watch the sky and act to bring your washing in when it rains, then being aware that it may rain will have helped. Worry is useful, provided it is turned into a plan for action. For example, worrying your electricity might get cut off might lead you to act to pay your bill on time. Once the bill has been paid, the worrying would stop and you would feel better. Worry is useful if it helps you be better prepared. Worry may help you think about what you could do if, or what would happen if. Worrying what would happen if my house was burgled could make you act to take out house insurance and lock your front door when you go out. Worry can make people more likely to notice negative things that aren't likely to happen, focusing on the negative. Worry can lead to exaggerated number of possible negative outcomes and individual worries. Worry feeds worry. There are 4 things that are not worth worrying about, but that account for a lot of our worries. The unimportant. How important is the thing that I am worrying about? The 5-year rule. Will this matter in 5 years' time? The measuring rod. Where on a scale of bad experiences is the thing I'm worried about? The calculator. How much worry is this worth? Make sure you do not spend more worry on your problem than it is worth. The unlikely. A lot of people who worry ask, what if? All kinds of terrible things could happen today or tomorrow, but most things are very unlikely. If you allow yourself to worry about the unlikely, then there will be no end to your worrying. So what's the worst that could happen, and how likely is it? The uncertain. Many things we worry about have not yet happened, and we can only take action once we know what has happened. For example, worrying that you may have failed a test or exam is not going to improve the results. Worry won't stop things happening for someone we care about, e.g., worrying about your partner driving home from work. And the uncontrollable. We have no control over many things that we worry about. For example, worrying that you are getting older does not change the fact that in a few days' time you will be a day older. Worrying without action does nothing. If worry on its own did something, then we could all worry all day to increase our bank balance. On the other hand, taking action such as selling something, working more hours, or spending less will directly affect our bank balances. Things to do. Worries can be divided into 2 types. Those you can do something about, and those you can't. Be clear what the worry is. Ask yourself, what am I worrying about? Think about each worry and write them down one at a time. Look at each worry and ask yourself, is there anything I can do about this? If the answer is no, think it through carefully and explain to yourself that there is no point in worrying. You can be certain that no matter how much you worry, nothing will change. If the answer is yes, something could be done, go to the next step. Write a list of things that you could do to solve your worry. Look at your list and ask yourself, is there anything I could do with that right now? Is there something you could do right away? Then do it. Is there something you can do right away? Then make a plan of when, where, and how you will tackle the problem. When you've done what you can, tell yourself what you have done, what is needed, and continue with your day. Share your worries. Worries do not survive well outside of our heads. Talking about a worry can help us to see the bigger picture and can help with finding possible solutions or planning actions. Try and meet a friend or relative and tell them what is on your mind. We all worry, and you can be sure that they will also have things that they worry about. Challenge your thoughts. What is the evidence? Is it logical? Are there alternative ways of seeing this? What's the effect of thinking this way? What thinking errors am I making? Is it all or nothing? Ultimatum words? Condemning based on a single event? Dwelling on negatives and ignoring positives? Mind reading? Too much responsibility? Predicting the future? Distractions? You can only pay full attention to one thing at a time. Keeping yourself busy will leave no room for worry. For example, physical activity, mental games. Focus on your surroundings. Sometimes your attention may drift from what you are doing to a worry. If this happens, say to yourself that you have done all you can for now. Remind yourself that there is nothing more that can be done today, and shift your attention back to your task. Do not use distraction techniques as a way of avoiding dealing with any issues. Go through the steps mentioned before using distraction. Some other tips to think about. What about a worry sheet? Whenever you feel plagued by worrying thought, note it down on a worry sheet. You can then forget about it, knowing that you have a plan to worry later. So your mind is fooled into thinking that you haven't given up worrying. Worry time. If you are snowed under by a worry, try to set aside a regular half an hour every day to worry. Decide on a time and a place that will be worry time, and stick to it. During worry time, let your mind worry freely. Take a pen and paper and write down your worries one at a time. Remember, everyone worries from time to time and has bad days. Clean your head, ready for bed. People often worry more at night. One way of dealing with worrying thoughts is to plan your days ahead. Hold a daily planning session which you use to work through your worries and problems. Planning sessions. Set aside 20 minutes in the early evening after your meal. Sit in a quiet room. Have a pencil and notebook to hand. Think about how the day has gone. Write down the things you achieved. Think about problem areas and anything you haven't finished. Write down the way you intend to tackle each of these and when you will do so. So do not do anything about them or at them at this time. Facts about sleep. There is no such thing as the ideal length of sleep. Some people need 10 hours, some need 3. As you get older, you need less sleep. Everyone has broken sleep. It is only when you worry about waking up that you notice these wake periods. It is not harmful to lose a few good night's sleep. Sleep can be affected by many things: stress, mood, exercise, food, medication, or alcohol.